Hello, my name is Dan Colgan, and I am the organist and music guy here at Gloria Day Lutheran Church in Olympia, Washington. Welcome to week 11 of my devotions from the organ bench. Today is Saturday, May 30th, 2020. Before I begin today, I'd just like to say a big thank you to a number of you who have sent in and given feedback regarding how much you have enjoyed these devotions. I know there's a number of you here in Olympia, both at Gloria Day and other churches around, as well as a number of folks around the country, particularly in Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and Minnesota, that have sent in kind notes and kind words. This is not a very natural thing for me to be in front of a camera doing this, but your encouragement is very kind, and I thank you very much for that. Today, I would like to look at hymn number 445, Wash, O God, Our Sons and Daughters. Its tune is also more commonly known as Beach Spring. Looking at the tune, it's written in a pentatonic scale. As you're probably aware, tomorrow is Pentecost, which, as I said in a devotion a few weeks ago, Pentecost literally means 50th, due to the fact that it comes 50 days after Easter. Likewise, the pentatonic scale is a 5-note scale. Now, our normal scale, our do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, is a 7-note scale. It's 8 notes if you count both do's, but it's 7 notes. The pentatonic scale drops 2 of those notes. It drops fa and it drops ti. So if we have do, re, mi, and then we have sol, la, that is our pentatonic scale. Here it is one more time. Another way to think of this pentatonic scale is as a black note scale. If you use just the black notes on the keyboard and nothing but, you end up with a pentatonic scale. This is a good way to think of almost a litmus test to find if something is written in a pentatonic scale. You can try playing it on black notes, and if you can play the whole thing using only black notes, chances are it's pentatonic. Here's Beach Spring, our hymn for today. Let's give it that test. Let's see if I can play it just on black notes. Indeed, it passes that test. Now, there are many of these pentatonic hymns we have in our book. Another somewhat famous one, I think, is Amazing Grace. Let's check that out while we're hanging around on black keys. Indeed, that works as well. As I mentioned, we have dozens and dozens of these pentatonic melodies in our hymnal, a large number of which come from a shape note singing tradition, including our hymn today. Now, this shape note singing, it's a fun and interesting thing. Shape note refers to the actual shape of the notes on the page. With its roots in the South, shape note singing is a bit of an activity, not always necessarily a church service, where a number of people sit around singing together, usually sorted into sections facing each other, and they sing using syllables. Now, this began in the mid-1800s and continues in some circles through today. There's even a shape note singing group here in town in Olympia. The system is pretty straightforward. If you see a triangle note head, you sing fa. If it's round, you sing sol. and if it's square, you sing law. This style of singing is an uninhibited, full body, full voice style of singing. The usage of these syllables, when harmonizing with each other, creates some very unique sounds. A common resource of this music is the sacred harp, often referred to as the Shape Note Bible, as it were. I looked up our hymn, Beach Spring, in my handy-dandy copy of the sacred harp. Now, let's see if we can get a good look at this hymn. You'll notice the use of a different text in this version, but it's our tune through and through. The actual tune, which is usually found in the top notes in our hymnal, in the sacred harp is located on the third line down. So I don't know if you can see that, but that is where the tune lies in this style. Anyway, the tune was named Beach Spring for the Beach Spring Baptist Church in Harris County, Georgia. The tune first appears in the sacred harp in its original 1844 publishing. It's probably composed by its compiler, Benjamin Franklin White. White was a newspaper editor, a court clerk, a mayor. He served in the Georgia militia, and he and his wife had 14 children. The text for this hymn was written in the 20th century by a living poet by the name of Ruth Duck, D-U-C-K. She was born in 1957, and she wrote this text with this tune in mind. She was born in Washington, D.C., and has degrees in Christian education, psychology, pastoral care, and liturgical studies. She is also an ordained pastor in the UCC Church. She has been a campus pastor in Pennsylvania and has served a number of churches throughout Illinois, Wisconsin, and Massachusetts. She was also a professor of worship at Garrett Theological Seminary in Evanston, Illinois for 27 years. Duck has written over 150 hymns, as well as a number of books, and is very dedicated to finding ways to use gender-inclusive language in worship. Her latest hymn collection, titled The Poetry of Grace, was published in 2015. Her text to this hymn reads, "Wash, O God, our sons and daughters, where your cleansing waters flow. Number them among your people, bless as Christ blessed long ago. Weave them garments bright and sparkling, compass them with love and light, fill, anoint them, send your spirit, holy dove and heart's delight." Clearly, this is a baptismal hymn, but I believe it's also in many ways a Pentecost hymn. Here's verse 3. "Oh, how deep your holy wisdom, unimagined all the ways. To your name be glory, honor. With our lives we worship, praise. We, your people, stand before you, water-washed and spirit-born. By your grace, our lives we offer. Recreate us, God, transform." When we think of Pentecost tomorrow, we'll hear the story of the Spirit's entry as told in the book of Acts. But this hymn reminds us of that same Spirit's entry at Christ's baptism, as well as our own baptism. Both biblical examples of the Spirit's entry are these big, flashy, fiery examples of specific times where the Holy Spirit was there making its presence known. But there are many other times when this occurs. Granted, they're usually a bit less bombastic, but the Holy Spirit is there nonetheless. As this hymn reminds us, we are a Spirit-born people, and let's remember to take the opportunity to thank the Holy Spirit for its presence in our daily lives, no matter how small, how flashy, or how unnoticeable the Holy Spirit may seem.